I still remember back in 2014, I first heard the name of a car in Need for Speed. And that car was none other than the Koenigsegg Agera. Honestly, this machine isn't just beautiful, it's insanely powerful and ridiculously agile. Today, we're putting it through our usual test lineup, and for the first time ever, we're even doing a crash test on a hypercar like this. Yeah, things are about to get expensive, so stick around till the end. Since I know most of you already recognize this beast instantly, we're starting with the acceleration and braking test. First up, acceleration mode set to Sport, and oh my god, this thing hit 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just about 2.3 seconds. That's absolutely insane. Now braking. Look at this. The car's braking performance is just unbelievable. It managed to come to a full stop in just 27 meters. At this point, my expectations for this car are getting out of control. Next, we jump straight into the handling test. It easily handles 60 kilometers per hour, no problem at all. 70 kilometers per hour, still easy. Nothing special for it. We push it to 75 kilometers per hour, still smooth through the course. But I feel like the rear end is a bit unstable, kind of a wobble or nervous behavior back there. Not sure why. If you know, definitely tell me in the comments. We push it further to 80 kilometers per hour, and yeah, this is where things fall apart a bit. The car shows a lot of instability and unfortunately can't handle that speed in the test. So 75 km per hour is our final recorded handling score. But that doesn't take anything away from this machine. Now we move on to the suspension test. Honestly, I didn't expect much here. It's a sports hypercar, so comfort was never the goal. On paved surfaces, it performs pretty well. Nothing shocking but decent. On normal terrain too, it holds up fine. But bumps? Yeah, that's basically its nightmare. Let's not even talk about that part. For city bumps though, we use our usual channel method, full throttle over bumps. Even if it jumps, we don't care. A little flying is acceptable. And surprisingly, nothing bad really happens to the car. It survives it. So now that we've seen good acceleration, strong braking, decent handling, and acceptable suspension, it's time for the crash tests. But before that, don't forget to like and subscribe. We start with the pillar strength test and crusher. And the result is surprisingly low compared to what you'd expect from this car, around 3,700 newtons. In my opinion, that number doesn't really represent this machine properly. So we move on to the roll bar test, flipping the car over, our usual nightmare for sports cars. And oh, that's a nasty impact on the driver's side. But still, it performs better than expected. Honestly, it did great. No major issues. Now for the main crash tests. First, the 50% offset crash. And honestly, this is one of the most impressive tests I've ever seen in my life. It really shows how strong the carbon fiber chassis of this car is. There is absolutely, repeat, absolutely no stress transferred to the occupants. That's beyond excellent. Next, the 100% frontal crash. And again, it passes this test very comfortably. No surprises here. So up to this point, what score would you give this car? Now we go to the head-on collision test. And honestly, for a car like this, you'd expect it to struggle. But no. So I decided to bring in a Volvo FH truck, a heavy truck, and set it directly against the Koenigsegg. The result? Completely shocking. At first glance, the impact looks brutal. You'd think the passengers are done for. But when we check the final result, no injuries at all to the occupants. This is insane. Honestly, strange, and absolutely impressive. So, what safety rating would you give this car? Let me know in the comments. Next test, rear crash. Again, nothing to complain about. Excellent performance. Side crash test. Now I want your opinion. Do you think it protects the occupants properly or not? We also tested rear trailer impacts and side trailer collisions, and once again, it performs extremely well. So I'll leave it to you. See you in the next video. Goodbye for now.